And like Brian, my
Fair.
boyfriend, he will be the one editing this, and he actually is pretty good at it. So if we like fuck stuff up, he can fix it. He makes Chris look
Okay.
great in the podcast. So
Okay.
hey there, adventurers. Welcome to Let's Just Go podcast. I'm Kayla, and this week I am joined by my friend Abby Talbot, who actually did a Disney college program with me many moons ago, and we're going to talk all about it today. So welcome, Abby.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So, first and foremost, did you ever leave Florida after your college program?
I did for exactly 1 year, literally a year.
And then you came running back because
And
that's
then
the
I
force
came
is
right
strong.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And I never worked for Disney again. I had every intention of coming back and working for Disney and then never did.
How often do you visit the parks though as a local?
Often, me and all my friends, we all have annual passes, and my boyfriend, who's an Orlando local, and he's lived here his entire life, has never had a Disney pass. I convinced him to get one finally. So,
What? He's like,
hmm
that place is stupid. I hate it. I don't want that.
So, on the rare chance that you do meet people who are from here, 9 times out of 10, they're like, I went to Disney once when I was like 5. It's the weirdest. I don't get it.
That is so funny. See, where
Hmm
like in Disneyland, it's quite literally the opposite. And like the bulk of the parks there are Southern California, like residents that take up like the population of people in the parks.
I feel like I see celebrities there all the time, so that makes
Yeah,
total
exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so our college program was in 2013. God,
hmm
so over a decade ago. So things have changed
oh,
dramatically.
phrase it that way.
Well, I mean, in terms of the college program itself,
Yes, no,
like,
I know.
have you seen Flamingo Crossing?
I have. It's,
It's so nice.
I don't know how to describe it. They have like little key fobs to get them
Yeah.
into everything, and it's
They
like
have like
state of the
dividers
art.
between their beds if they share a room.
They don't have to hoof it to Chatham Square to go to the events. They just walk
Yeah.
downstairs. All the events are right there. Not fair.
Yeah. They even have a parking garage.
Oh, I didn't know
Imagine.
that.
Yeah. And you can see if you're driving down I-4, you can see it right next to the like apartments. It is the exact same color scheme.
You
Yeah.
can't see Flamingo. I don't think you can see Flamingo Crossing from
Okay. Well,
I-4.
maybe I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about then. I don't
That
know.
might be the Disney Springs parking garage you're thinking of.
It's like It's like half a mile down, like by the Target, by the little tiny baby Target, right?
That's Disney Springs.
Oh, okay, never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about then. They don't have a parking garage. I'm lying.
They Flamingo Crossings is over by Animal Kingdom.
Oh, why
So
didn't I
that
think
side
it
of
was?
town.
Wow. See, you know way more than I do because you're still there. And
Yeah.
I just go a couple times a year.
Do you follow all those girls on and guy I see a couple guys every once in a while. It's mostly females that I see on TikTok who
Yes.
do the day in the life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their apartments are gorgeous.
Yeah. But they're also paying so much more than we. Like, where did you live on your college program?
Just away.
Oh, you were one of those. Yeah. But that means you had the cheapest rent. So, for those of you who know nothing about the college program, Vista Way is like the OG apartment complex. It's also it was the cheapest. It was like it felt very like early 90s and had never been updated.
Never. You could put your back on the like lay on the counter and look up underneath the cabinets that were on the wall and it would say like Joe was here summer DCP 1997.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
was literally like people had signed it from day one up until like I even wrote my name underneath one of my cabinets.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
why. So, I lived in Chatham for my first program, for half of my first
hmm
program. And then I moved to Patterson. And then my second program, I was in Patterson the entire time, which like Patterson, it out of the options that you had was the like highest level. Like it was the most expensive. It was the newest. It didn't have its own bus stop, which was a pain in the ass. So you had to walk down and around the corner to get to a bus.
You didn't ever bring a car? Well, I guess not. That wouldn't make sense
I
to have
did have a
driven it all the
car.
way. Oh,
I
you
no,
did?
I did. In 2013 I had a car because I got into a car accident when I was supposed to pick my mom up from the airport, and I ended up being late to get her from
Oh
the airport
no.
cuz a tourist sideswiped me.
Oh my God.
Mhm. Yeah.
Traumatizing.
It was it was very stressful. My side mirror like broke off of my car and
Oh,
I had to duct tape it back on.
oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it was
That's
bad. So, like
terrible.
so I had a car, but my first program, I didn't have a car. And so I
Hmm.
lived in Chatham, and there was bus stops outside of Chatham, which was great. So you just like, I walked like 2 minutes and I was there. And then halfway through that program, I moved to Patterson and suddenly I had to walk. And it was like, oh, I have to give myself like 15 minutes to get to the bus instead of 5.
Oh, that's so annoying. I will tell you, they still use the
Yeah.
same buses.
Oh
You know, the
god.
ones that used to
Is it
like
like
catch on fire
TransStar,
all
I
the
think?
time. Yeah, yeah. It's the
Man.
same company.
The
Terrible.
drivers are awful. They're the meanest
Hmm.
people I've ever met in my life. They do not care about you. They do not care that you have to be at work. They're at work and they hate it.
Yeah, it's miserable. Like all of my roommates took the bus and they constantly complained about
Did
how
you have a
awful it
car?
was. I did, yeah.
Mm,
Which I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't go anywhere. I
Yeah.
was thinking about that the other day. I went to work and I went to the parks,
Yeah.
this whole state, and I never explored it while I was on my college program.
I mean,
Crazy.
you don't make enough money to
No,
explore. You're
no.
literally, I think they say they guarantee you enough hours to cover rent. Like that's
Hmm.
really the bare minimum. So it makes sense.
I'll need to fact check this for sure, but I'm pretty, when I did the college program, I figured
Mhm.
out how many shifts, how many hours per week I needed to work to cover rent. And then that is all I did. I was constantly giving them away. I was constantly calling in. I was constantly like asking to leave early. I
This all
don't think they
sounds right.
can,
Yeah.
I don't think they can do that anymore. I think it's like
Oh.
we give you the 40 hours a week and you will be working
Oh,
40 hours a
wow.
week. Hmm.
Damn. I remember so my first college program, I worked at Wilderness Lodge at Roaring Fork, my favorite quick service location on
I
property.
love Roar and Fork.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I It's so good. I remember I had a shift for New Year's Eve, but I had plans for New Year's Eve and the last day of the program was either the 1st or the 2nd of January, and I was like I told my bosses ahead of time. I was like, "I will not be there. I'm not like I have plans with my boyfriend and friend. Like I'm not going to be here." And my boyfriend also worked at Roaring Fork because that's the other thing about the college program is that you just like you if you date, it's only other people doing the college program. That's it.
Hmm.
Um and then we snuck into Epcot and watched the firework. Like we thought we were going to get caught sneaking in because we went through like the cast like back entrance in the World
Classic.
Showcase. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then we watched the fireworks from Mexico and like had a great time. I
Sounds
have
awesome.
pictures.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but now I
I,
don't think that would work out so well for a college program participant.
no, definitely not. So, Chatham Square was the highest level, the nicer one you said?
No, Patterson was. Chatham was the
Patterson.
like middle level.
Did
Yeah.
you choose your roommates beforehand?
My first program I didn't. My second
Hmm.
program I did, hoping I was going to get a 1 bedroom. And then she and I ended up in a 3 bedroom.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. Did you pick your roommates?
No, I had read online that you 9 times out of 10 will end up living with whoever you are standing in line next to.
Oh. Is that how it worked out for you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yep.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
and we're still like really good friends to this day. She lives in Seattle, and
Oh my gosh. How
yeah,
funny.
yeah, it's great. We had it was three Americans and then three international students.
Yeah. That's so cool. I my in-room roommate in my last program got kicked out because she tried to fight me and kicked a hole in our door, our apartment door. Yeah. So here's the thing, guys. So Abby and I work together. Like
Mm,
we Abby
that's
and I
like a
have lots of
whole.
stories of like working together Animal Kingdom, but like yeah, I don't think you were ever like privy to that. Yeah, so she had people like a person over and I went into the bedroom and like closed the door because if you don't know me, I don't like people and I just want like alone time. Like I'm an only child. I just need to
Mhm,
like be by myself sometimes. And she said something
mhm.
about me getting an attitude. And the next thing I know, she was literally taking out her hoop earrings and like taking off her shoes and like coming to fight me. And so
Oh
I
my
again
God.
like closed the door. She kicked a hole in the door. I then like went down to security and they were like, we can press charges if you want. And I was like, no, I'm good. And then I had to leave the apartment for the night and stay in like a sketchy, like empty apartment in the complex.
Ew, I hate
And then
this.
she had to be out the next day and they never replaced her. So I thought I was going to get an international roommate because there was like a wave of
Hmm.
international roommates coming and they never
Um,
replaced her. So I just got to be by
Never did.
myself for like a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. How?
She also had a child that she didn't tell anybody about until like we were like she and I met on Facebook. Her child
Hmm.
was nowhere to be seen on Facebook.
What?
Yeah, like it was
How do
you were
you?
smart to just like go in blind.
That's insane.
I
There was one girl, I think she worked the Everest attraction.
know.
Her
Mhm.
roommate was in her late 50s.
Yes. Yeah.
And she said it, I remember her talking about it more than once, saying it wasn't like bad, it just was kind of odd in a
Weird.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in terms of roommates, I pretty much lucked out. One of them was a little bizarre. It was her
Yeah.
dream in life to be an au pair. That's all she wanted
Okay.
to do was be an au pair. And we were good friends at the beginning. We really liked each other. And then one day, and maybe I need to clarify with one of the other roommates to ask for sure what happened one day. Done. She was done with me. She hated me. She wouldn't look at me. She wouldn't talk to me.
Oh
It
my
was strange.
gosh. You
And
probably
then
needed to
our
take out the trash and you didn't. And that was it for her. That was her final
beats
straw.
me. I don't know. She was constantly leaving dishes in the sink, and so maybe like asking her to take responsibility one too many times was like it. Like she just couldn't. You're asking too much.
Do you
And
ever like
her
reflect
mom,
back on like a decade ago and think, wow, I've grown so much as a person? And like for me, I'm like, I was such a dick a decade ago.
yeah, yeah,
I probably
such.
could have
And
phrased something differently. I don't know.
I remember, so our college program ended what, January of 2014.
Yeah.
So around Christmas time, her mom came to visit, and
Hmm.
her mom comes in the apartment, and she's like saying hello to all my other roommates. How are all of you? And she starts handing out Christmas presents to my roommates, and she looks, the mom looks at me, and she goes and keeps walking.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was
That,
really awkward.
wow.
It was so, I
That's,
never found out what I did. I have no idea.
oh my God. But do you know if she ever became an au pair?
She's a flight attendant for JetBlue the last time I checked.
I mean, that's kind of taking care of people, just not small children in another country.
I guess. I don't know.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. Strange bird. I'm not sure.
Wow. So, had you ever lived with roommates prior to the college program?
I had. Um, so I had done a year of college. So I graduated high school in 2012
Hmm.
and then did a year at a university in Michigan. And
Hmm.
then that was not it for me. I was so depressed. I've never
Yeah.
slept so much in my entire life. Like,
Oh my gosh.
I didn't go to class. All I did was just lay in bed and watch Netflix, and
Oh,
it was horrible.
oh
And
man.
I had four roommates then. Two of them I still talk to, just kind of friends with on social media. Don't really like interact
Yeah.
with. One of them, nightmare. She put me through hell. She, the night before we had final exams, our first semester, she went out and got so blackout drunk and then proceeded to pass out in the bathroom, like stop breathing, like her lips turned purple
Oh
and her
my
eyes.
God.
So I called 911 and it was like we had to get her stomach pumped. It was a whole thing.
Oh my
Her
God.
mom came to pick her up the next day, and instead of saying, "Hey, thank you for saving my daughter's life," she said, "Do you have any idea how much this ambulance bill is going to cost me?" And then I said, "I don't actually think college is for me." And I went home
Oh.
that break and I applied for the college program.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Was
So,
okay. So our college program, we both worked merchandising in Asia at Animal
mhm.
Kingdom. Was merchandising your first pick? Like, was that what you wanted to do?
I think so. We took a quiz, right? And we got to select like three different
Yeah. You got to like
locations
pick which
or
ones. Yeah.
job. I think I chose merchandise, something to do in one of the hotels, maybe like front desk or concierge or something like
Yeah.
that. And I don't remember what the third one was.
So you were like happy with that choice.
My only thing was I didn't want to work at Animal Kingdom. I didn't want to live in Vista Way, and I didn't
Well,
want to work at World of Disney at Disney Springs. That's all I wanted. And then when I checked it and they were like, "So you're living here in Vista Way?" I was like, and then you'll be working merchandise in Animal Kingdom, and I was like,
oh man. See, I intentionally requested Animal Kingdom.
"Really?"
Yeah, because I knew what time the park closed.
So it became a saving grace. Yes. I
Yeah.
eventually
Yeah.
learned to love that for sure.
Did you ever work any heart of house shifts? I loved those shifts.
Yes. But not the ones where you would go in and like unload the trucks.
Yeah.
I would come in like an hour after that was done to like fully open the store.
See, I had a couple of shifts. I think they started at like 4:30 or 5
Hmm.
where you'd come in and it was I can't remember their names, but it was like two older ladies and like they both spoke Spanish and they would talk shit about you. Whoever like the third person was that was there, they would just talk shit about you the whole entire time in
Hmm.
Spanish. And
Hmm.
then I was like, "Please like me. Please. I just want you to like me, please. I'm begging you, please."
I know exactly who you're talking about. They still work there.
And I'm sure they're probably still doing the heart of house shift and they're there super early in the morning. But it's such a cool shift because you like come into the park and like
Hmm.
all the animals are waking up and it's like slightly terrifying, but also so cool because you're like hearing all
Hmm.
these noises that don't feel like they're real.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
music is so good. I love the music in Animal Kingdom
Yeah.
so much.
I am team Animal Kingdom. Like before working there, I was like, ugh, Animal Kingdom is such a lame park. Why does
Hmm.
anybody even go there? But then I knew it closed early. So I was like, I had a roommate in my first program that worked Haunted Mansion, and she would have
Hmm.
days where she would be getting home as I was leaving for work. So
Hmm.
like I knew I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Animal Kingdom, like, yeah, I had some shifts that were at 5 a.m., but also I was done by like 10 at the absolute latest.
Hmm. So nice. I
Yeah.
loved that, working those super early shifts.
Yeah. It
I
was
didn't mind the closing shifts either.
yeah. Closing wasn't bad. I just hate people. I mean, just the theme of this episode is how much I hate people. So it was nice to like not have to deal with guests because if
Hmm.
there's one thing about Disney, it's that people are actually the stupidest they can possibly be when they're at a
So
Disney theme
stupid.
park.
It's like their brain just shuts off as soon as
It
they
really
land
does.
at fucking
Yes.
MCO. They're like, vacation?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens, and it's, like, painful, so I would rather deal with the ladies talking shit about me in Spanish than
Hmm.
deal with a guest that, like, doesn't have any idea what's going on and, like, doesn't understand me answering a question or, like, "No, sir, you can't come through this door. This door is not for you, like, you can't go this way," and then being like, "What do you mean? I don't why not?" Like, "It says cast members only here. You can't come in here. You're not a cast member."
Oh my God. And I don't know what they do now, but I loved pictures after the ride. All you had to do was stand there and write down the numbers of the photo and hand it off. It was the best. I loved
Re
standing there.
see, preview is what it was called. They don't do it anymore. I don't even think that you can,
Okay.
like, buy a picture. Like I think they've like repurposed the counters that used to be used for photos.
I'll have to look. I'm not sure. I don't,
Yeah.
it
But
might
like
be.
I hated that spot because you would get the like 10-year-olds that would come off the ride and they would be like screaming and like looking at the picture. And then they would want to be like, and we totally went upside down. We went upside down. And I'm like, you didn't go upside down. Yeah, we went upside down. I'm like, okay, have a good day.
I hate it when they shoved the cell phone in your face, though, to get a picture of the screen. Like, I'm right here.
Yeah.
You have to see me, right?
This is not camouflage.
Look at this outfit I am wearing. It is a coral shirt. You see me.
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't like preview. I did like did you work the event that was like it was some company having like an after hours party and they were like we're just going to just tally up however many pictures people get printed out and just like we'll charge it
Yes.
at the end of the night.
Yes.
That
I
was
totally
fun.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
That was
hated
fun.
working the picture counter because you'd scroll through and you'd say, "What was your photo number?" Oh, I didn't look.
Okay, let's
Okay,
scroll back.
sure. When did you get off the ride? Oh, like 20 minutes ago.
Mhm.
Okay. And then inevitably you'd scroll and be like, "This is you, right? That's not me." Oh, yeah, that is me. Great. Do you want to buy the photo? No, we just wanted to see it. Get out of here.
Yeah, and that's why now Memory Maker exists and everything is linked to your Magic Band.
Gorgeous.
Oh my
Gorgeous system.
gosh.
Do you remember the day you met Neil Patrick Harris?
Yes. Yeah.
I came into work the next day and I was like, "Hi, Kayla, how are you?" And you're like, "Neil Patrick Harris was here. Here on the ride."
Yeah.
Freaking
There
out.
were or there was the day that I remember I don't remember if I was coming to work or leaving, but Samantha Brown from the Travel Channel was outside.
Oh,
I know. And I was like, "Oh my god." Like I'm in costume. I can't freak out. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I remember the day I saw Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful man.
There are some serious like I wouldn't necessarily say perks, but like it's cool to get to like engage with people in a way that like they barely realize you exist. I remember working at Disneyland and I was working like a slushy cart and some really
Nice.
tall guy ordered from me and he walked away and the people behind him were like, "Oh my god, that was so I don't even know who the guy was. He was a basketball player." And everybody was like, "Oh, that was so and so." And I was like, "Okay. Uh, that's cool." Like to this day I couldn't tell you who the guy was, but people were really excited about it.
That happened to me once when I was working the photo printer.
Yeah.
I was like the only one over there because it was a slow day, and a magic player got off the ride and came over to buy a photo. And I don't remember her name, but she was one of the full timers that worked or part
Yeah.
timers that worked there. And she came over and was like, "Go do something else," and like took over for me on photo. And she came back and found me, and I was like, "What was that all about?" And she was like, "You don't know who that was?" And I said, "No, I
I'm
don't
not a
know who that
local. I
was."
don't care about sports here. Like,
Some basketball player. I don't even have any idea.
oh my gosh, that is so funny. Yeah, I think that
Hmm.
like having interactions with celebrities was cool. I think
Hmm.
that one thing that has like really changed in the last 10 years is that you and I used to be able to just go to the parks and like take people with our main gate passes and just like have the
Hmm.
time of our lives. And now they have to like work a set number of hours to get a single ticket to bring someone with them. So like if your parents came to visit, you can't just like
Hmm.
take them to the parks.
That's wild. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It rolled out like I don't know when, but like before the pandemic, it was like they changed the way that you can get tickets for other people.
I would say like the essence of the program is the same, but there's so much about
Yeah.
it. It just feels almost like a completely different program
Yeah.
nowadays.
It really does. I think that there was like a disconnect when we did it where like yes, the program had existed for a really long time, but like it didn't
Hmm.
really exist on like social media or like
Right.
in a way that you really knew what to expect until you were in it, unless you knew somebody that had done it.
Hmm.
Or like for me, I'd done the Disneyland program, so I like had an idea of what I was in for at Disney World, and then the second time I did Disney World, it was a drastically different experience, but I knew like the apartments
Hmm.
and like the layout of the parks and like I had a general idea of what things were like. Where now, like we were talking about earlier, you've got TikTokers doing their day in the life videos or like, let me show you around Flamingo Crossing and like walking you
Hmm.
all around their campus that they have. And like the apartments that we lived in are just sitting there getting dusty and crusty, not even being used.
You can actually rent them out. Vista Way just opened up recently. I meant to look it up recently to see how much they were going for. But yeah, they like painted the outside, and I'm
Wow.
hoping redid them, but I don't know for sure.
You're going to move in, right? You're going to
Absolutely,
request your
yeah.
old apartment.
No, it's my dream to live there for sure.
I drove by and like either 2018 or 2019.
Hmm.
Maybe it was maybe it was later than that. I don't remember when it was. It's been a couple years now, but I remember driving by and it was like so creepy because it was like they weren't even maintaining the road around like Chatham and Patterson and the Commons. It was
Interesting.
spooky.
That
Yeah.
is weird. There's so much traffic there with the outlets too. It's kind
Outlets.
of surprising.
It's such a like fascinating thing to like reflect back on and like it's also what has sort of like the college program is what has started me on this path of like if I didn't do a college program I probably wouldn't have ever started this podcast. Like
Hmm.
it's like I have this sort of like tie to Disney that I grew up going and I'm sure you did too and then like
Hmm.
same story as you. I was like college is not for me. This is stupid. Why am I here? I'm gonna apply to, but in 2008, when I did my first program, the difference was you like faxed things in. Like it
Oh my
was
gosh.
not online at all. Um, yeah, and then I like kept getting drawn back in and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it again. Oh, I'm gonna do it again. And then I was like, oh, I'm 24. Maybe I should do something else with my life.
I didn't even think about the social media aspect of it until now, because I remember seeing like a poster. Had known someone, a family friend who did the program, and so I had kind of known of it, but I saw a poster one day and like somewhere on campus and said, "Oh my gosh, I need to do this." I remember coming back after break, and I don't even remember how I found out about it, but there was a meeting for all the people at my school who got accepted to the program. And that was the
Yeah.
first time in months that I had like been excited about anything. And so I think that's how I just knew that I was college and I needed to be done.
So after your interview, were you like obsessively checking your email every single day, waiting?
Yes. Yeah. And I did have Tumblr at the time, and
Oh my
DCP was on Tumblr a
goodness.
little bit. Do
Yeah.
you remember, like, and this is so ironic, the timing of it all? If you clicked on DCP, you would get a combination of the college program stuff and then that girl who dated Liam Payne from One Direction because her
No.
initials were DCP. You don't remember that?
No. I do not remember that. Oh my gosh.
It was like a thing. Her name is like Danielle or something, and those are her initials. And so I remember
Interesting.
every time I got on Tumblr searching the DCP hashtag, and like she'd come up,
That's
and
you were like, I
no,
don't
I want
want
to
One Direction
see
content. Get out of
Disney
here.
stuff. Come on.
That is so funny. So my first college program, actually, my Disneyland program, this was all again still done via the mail. It was not even email.
I love that.
Um, and I got to the point where like I had to call and I was like, I haven't heard anything. Like, what's going on? And they were like, oh no, you got rejected. Like you're not, we're not moving forward with you. And I was like, okay. 2 weeks before my program was set to start, I got a phone
Hmm.
call and they were like, hey, actually, can you be here in 2 weeks?
What?
And then, yeah. So my first program was I did outdoor vending at Disneyland. I got to California. I was like, we're moving into housing, and like things are a little different in California, where like your housing isn't tied to, or at least this, 15 years ago, your housing wasn't tied to your employment and vice versa. So like if you quit living in college program housing, you could still have a job. And if you could like not have a job and still live in the housing. It was weird. It was like the two were not connected like they are in Florida.
Interesting.
And I remember we were checking in and the guy in front of me was like, I work tomorrow. Like, do you not work tomorrow? And I was like, again, knowing nothing. I was like, no. But he was a current employee that like this was like the very first round of the college program existing in Disneyland. And
That you
like,
were on?
yeah. And he like didn't live in college program housing, but he had to come like check in for some odd reason. So I was so stressed. I'm standing in line all by myself. I'm 19 years old. I have no idea like what's really going on. And this guy's telling me I work tomorrow. What? I don't think that's right. Like it was
Where?
yeah. So then I get to my work location and I'm like meeting other college program participants.
Hmm.
Almost everybody at my work location had the same story as me. They got rejected. They got a phone call 2 weeks before asking them if they could come. So clearly they didn't have enough people for
Oh,
outdoor vending.
oh my God.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's wild.
I know. Could you imagine? Like, hey, just kidding.
Are there just internships in America, or can you do internships with the other parks? Paris, Tokyo.
I think it's only in the States,
Mm-hmm.
unless you live internationally. And then there's probably, because like international kids can come to the
Mm-hmm.
States too to work. But I don't think that there's like a program for US citizens to go intern in another park.
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. There did used to be a program though called Career Start, which doesn't exist anymore. And that was where you could go straight out of high school. You didn't have to like be in college to apply for the program. So it was literally a college program, but you just went straight from like being 18,
Yeah,
graduated high school.
fascinating.
Yeah.
I want to know your like craziest guest story.
I was like, my craziest story I already told you. It was my roommate trying to fight me.
No, yeah,
Oh
undoubtedly. No.
gosh. Craziest guest story. Well,
Mhm.
like fun crazy. In 2008, it was Miley Cyrus's Sweet 16 at Disneyland. And I wasn't scheduled to work.
Hmm.
And I just kept obsessively calling, being like, do you guys need me? Do you need me? Do you need me? Do you need
Like
me?
I'm standing outside.
Yeah.
Just let me
And
in.
so I think the third time I called, the supervisor was like, just come in. And I was like, yes, this is it. This is my chance. And so they had nowhere to put me. So I literally wandered around Disneyland for Miley Sweet
Oh
16.
my God.
And because I was a cast member, I could like go places that other like the regular patrons that paid so much money to be there like couldn't go in. So there were like barricades for celebrities. And I remember at one point crossing paths with Kobe Bryant and his kids. Yeah.
Oh my
So like
gosh.
and I also this was the height of Jonas Brothers craze as well. And everybody who knows me knows that I'm a Jonas Brothers girl. And there had been rumors that they were there. So I was like, okay, bet.
Oh, because Nick
This
was
is it.
dating Miley.
Yeah. But it was the Naked Brothers band. It was not the Jonas Brothers. And I was really offended that people were telling me that the Jonas Brothers were there when it was the
They're
fucking
not the
Naked
same.
Brothers band. No. So that's my like favorite like guest story because it's like
Hmm.
I got to do this really cool thing that nobody else had that experience. That was a Kayla only experience of just like, huh, I wonder what's going on over there. I wonder, oh, that guy's really tall. Wonder who he like I knew who he was,
Kobe Bryant.
obviously.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That was my that'd probably be my favorite guest story. What's yours?
Miley Cyrus. Um,
I'm sorry, it's probably
I
not gonna
have
top that. I'm so sorry.
it won't. I have two that really kind of stand out. Do you remember the cart at the end of Cali River Rapids?
Hmm.
It sold all of the stuff that you would need if you
The
got soaking.
towels.
Towels,
Yeah.
flip-flops,
Crocs.
shorts,
Yeah.
Crocs.
Yeah.
Yes. So I hated that cart because no one ever stopped to
It's
like
the furthest
buy
from
anything,
everything. Yeah.
everything. This guy got off the ride absolutely drenched. He like his clothes are hanging off of him. He's so wet. And he says, "My family and I just got off the ride. I need to buy like 4 towels because we're soaked." And I said, "Sure, this side of the cart, that side of the cart. There's only like 4 designs, so whatever."
Huh.
And he was like, "No, help me pick them out." Why did we spend like 20 minutes picking out 4 towels for this man and his wet family?
You're
So
like,
the
"Sir, there's
whole
only 5 designs. Which one don't you want?"
just this is not that serious. So then he checks out and they give him these towels and they say, "Okay, well, I hope you get dry. Enjoy the towels. Like, enjoy your vacation." He goes, "Thank you. I'll think of you when I use them." No, sir, I'm 19.
Wait, was his family with him during this?
No, and the
Oh,
thing
okay.
I thought about later is I'm just imagining this whole time that this man is picking out towels, meticulously inspecting the designs. His family is just like waiting for him to come back.
He doesn't have a family. It was just him.
He just bought 4 towels for me, just a ruse to talk to me. Who says that? I'll think of you when I use them.
Oh
Please
my
don't.
god. I had something like that happen
Nightmare.
to me with a guy trying to pay me with ones.
Oh God.
And I don't remember what he said to me because I just, repressed it. But I remember being like, as he was like handing me the money, and I was like, this is so, first of all, this is Disney. Second of all, I am significantly younger than you. Your wife is standing right there. Like, please stop. This isn't funny. Now I would have been like, hey, actually, fuck off. But like
I
early
got in trouble for
20s.
swearing on stage once. It was at that little hut across
Oh, from Yak and Yeti.
from Yak and Yeti.
Yeah.
And it was just me and one other guy, and he was a full timer, but he was like in his 20s.
Hmm.
No guests were around. And I think this is why I didn't get in trouble. And you know how you could walk in the back of that
Hmm.
and not have to come in the front? So we were standing out front as we were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And he was harassing the hell out of me. He was like, "Just give me your number. Just give me your number. Like, let's hang out. Let's hang out."
I think I know what guy you're talking about.
I
Hmm.
don't know his name.
Yeah.
He would not leave me alone. And I finally turned it and I looked at him. I said, "Please fuck off. Please leave me alone." Right as our fucking lead was walking in the back, and she was like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I was like, we need to not work together anymore. Like, this is not happening. He's being inappropriate." And she was like, "Yeah, but you can't curse on stage." And I was like, I feel like you are missing the point.
If I can't curse on stage, then he can't harass me on stage. Thank you so much.
So I had to like go backstage and like fill out an incident report and all
Oh
that
my
stuff.
god.
And I just got talked to, and yeah, it was so embarrassing. We never worked together again. So
Well, I guess the incident report did something for you then.
I guess, but yeah, it was bizarre.
So, what would you say is like your favorite thing to like wrap this up? Because I realize we've been talking for a long time at this point. What would
I
you
could keep
say?
going.
I know, I could too. But I also like realize I'm getting like messages from my like job that they want stuff from me. So I should probably
The
do
worst.
that. Yeah. What would you say is like the one thing that you like took away or like really enjoyed about your time on a college program?
The people, and I'm not just saying that for your benefit, but truly the people. Like, I learned being from such a small town in Michigan, coming to Orlando, which is already such a melting pot, and then meeting people from literally all over the world who I still talk to this day was probably the one of the most magical and eye-opening experiences. Like, I'll be forever grateful for that. Yeah.
I think I'd say the same thing actually. I was telling you that I'm going to the UK next
Hmm.
year, and I'm actually going to like I'm not only going I'm going for concerts, but I'm also going to be visiting someone that I worked with at Roaring Fork. That
Oh,
she's from the
awesome.
UK, and I went last year and visited her as well. And then I'm going to her wedding in 2026. So
I
like,
love that.
yeah, it's so I feel like the Disney College program made me a much better rounded individual than I was
Hmm.
prior.
Yeah, aware for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the friendships are great. I had one roommate from Seattle and then she moved to Denver and then I had two roommates from Australia and one came to Denver for like a vacation a couple years ago and so I said, "I'll come to Denver and visit." And it was like this mini reunion and it was so
Oh,
wonderful. I loved it.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's so great to
Hmm.
like still be connecting with people and that like social media still exists in the way it does and it's possible to connect with these people in a way that again like a decade ago looked very different and
Hmm.
15 years ago looked even more different than that. So, yeah, I agree. That's it's the people. It's great. Oh man. Well, I'm so glad that you agreed to come on and talk
This
to
was
me.
so fun. I've been looking
Yeah.
forward to this.
Yeah,
So
this was
this is
great.
great.
Yeah. Those of you listening, please, reach out. Have you done a college program? Are you interested in doing a college program? Again, it's very different now than it was. So, like, take everything we're saying with a grain of salt. It's not like that now. But
We'll do our best to offer some sage wisdom.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But until next time, let's just go.